can see my feet.
Bam! What is up with the squad? What's up with the squad? We got the coach in the building. We gonna get this thing going.
What's up, fam?
What's happening, fam? What's happening, fam? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tennessee. Cess Talk Sports presents now. Joining the conversation. We hanging out with Coach Ro. Coach, what's happening with you?
There's a lot happening. I had an opportunity to look at some of the marquee games for the past couple of days. Excellent activity. I love what the WNBA is doing. I love the action. I love the parity. I'm here for it. Let's get right into it. Let's get into it, Cess.
Fam, before we get started, I got a question. What happened to Caitlin Clark? What happened to Caitlin Clark? And what I mean by that is, what is it? Why are so many black men coming to the aid of Caitlin Clark right now? What happened to her? What did they do to her? What is it that they are protecting her from? What is it that they're coming to her aid from? Charles Barkley, LeBron James. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? I'm irritated this morning. I am super irritated this morning. The way that what happened to her? Who did something to her? Nothing. This girl was the number one pick in the draft. She got a $28 million shoe deal. She's living her best life. Her fans are going crazy, and they're sticking up for her for what? I'm outraged right now. For what? For what? What are they protecting her from? Who are they protecting her from?
Well, so I have a different spin on this, and I'm glad you brought this up. I think that, well, one, Barkley, respect, the platforms that he's been on, but he's always been the type of individual that will take the side of somebody that's.
What are they, but Coach, you have to explain to me, what are they taking sides on?
Okay, so here's my
because some people aren't fans.
No, I think that they're taking sides with themselves, and I know that sounds confusing, but let me get this out. Many of the people that you're talking about that have come out and said these things were the ones that were singing her praises from day one, that she's the best player. She's this. She's going to be generational. She's going to be, a game changer. And now they're eating their words because they're seeing how she's really playing against this elite talent in the WNBA, and it's not panning out the way that they said that it would be. She's not playing to what they promoted her to be. So now they're stepping in to say, oh, well, she's being attacked and she's being this, and they're giving her a hard time. It's really their egos, in my opinion, because they had these strong opinions. They wanted to lift her up before she even touched the basketball in the game, in the WNBA game. And that's what this is to me. This is ego at its finest, in my opinion, because now they're like, oh, I can't go back on my words. So now they're going to come out and try to do the whole victim defense. And, I don't know why she's getting such a hard time. That's my take on it.
Whoopi Goldberg, too. She on The View talking about everybody needs to be happy for Caitlin Clark. Did Caitlin Clark help turn the money on? Sure she did. She didn't do that by herself. She didn't do it by herself. No, it don't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. This thing happened. There was two people. It was two people involved in this thing. And Angel Reese is the one that blew this thing up, right? Angel Reese blew this thing up with the hand gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nobody outside of basketball. People in basketball, you know about Caitlin. If you watch college hoops, it went national when Angel celebrated on her.
That's a fact.
What are they? I'm so curious. I was on my timeline. And story after story was like them defending Caitlin, being on her side. Like, for what? For what? Caitlin is a big girl. She was selected number one in the draft, and LeBron was saying he's been there, he's done that. It's hard to be the number one. It's hard to be the number one draft pick. Right? That's a hard thing. It come with a lot of responsibility. It come with a big spotlight. It also come with a big paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you are compensated for. For the spotlight that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
I was going back through it. I was like, well, damn, what happened to Caitlin, man? I'm looking around trying to figure out who did something to her.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to her?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that some people are not a fan. This is what we sticking up for her for. Because some people don't want to be her fan. Come on, man. Come on. Let's cut this out. Let's cut this out.
Or is this elite, let's say, tax bracket higher up celebrities trying to defend who they believe is in their class now as far as financially. And this is just more of a question. You know what I mean? Like, you got the State Farm endorsement, sneaker deal, you got this stuff going on. So now, her tax bracket overnight has, she's up there with some of the elite. Could that be what this is? Because everybody you mentioned is in that tax bracket.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what I just heard you say that they're defending the fact that she's rich now. They're defending her because she's rich like them
Absolutely.
now.
That's exactly what I said. And it's just me. Like you said, it's a thought-provoking question. I love the question. I love the conversation. The first one that I said was the men. I'm not talking about Whoopi Goldberg. No disrespect to Whoopi Goldberg, but I've never respected next to any of what she ever had to say. That's a whole nother segment we talk about. But as far as the athletes, the men that you talked about, these are the same men that I saw, the same type of timeline, are the ones that were lifting her up as the best thing since sliced bread in the WNBA. And now it's not working out that way. And they have to find something to talk about, something to say, okay, I was right. Almost like, well, I was right because she's still a star. She's going to be okay. That's what I see. But, yeah.
Caitlin Clark is a star. Caitlin Clark has arrived. Right. Caitlin Clark's bank account says so.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree.
It's something that comes with the territory. They talk about Chuck. They give Chuck a hard time. Shoot, they tweet stuff at Chuck about Chuck on TNT, and Chuck takes it in stride. LeBron, he deemed himself the chosen one, and they paid him to be the chosen one. And his bank account is handsome from being the chosen one. He's about to be able to get his son in here maybe before he's even ready to be here, because he's the chosen one. So respect that. But they on TV as if somebody hit this girl, socked this girl, beat this girl. I'm looking for the incident. Like, what are they defending her from? There's nothing to defend Caitlin Clark from. Caitlin Clark stepped into this league, and still may very well go down in history as one of the best players to ever do this thing. She's a rookie. Welcome to the league.
Right.
Welcome to the league. But the disrespect, to me, it's disrespectful to be like, hey, we got to defend Caitlin. Right? Because I haven't heard anything that happened to Caitlin. I heard Angel Reese say that she was sexualized. I heard Angel Reese say that she got threatened. I heard Angel Reese say that she got treated really bad. I'm going back through my timeline, Coach. I don't see nobody coming out defending Angel, saying too bad for Angel. We need to treat Angel better. Angel is to me laying out a much better blueprint than Caitlin has laid out about how to be able to do this thing. To me, especially for somebody who's not going to be coming in being necessarily the number one draft pick. I mean, I said it on a live the other night. I don't know if people realize Angel Reese, by her own self, has more followers than the WNBA period, than the whole league. I sure hope tonight. I think Chicago play tonight. I'm live tonight for the Chicago game. Chicago, stand up, come out, make a standing room only in there, and help them understand that it don't have nothing to do with Caitlin. We're not saying like Caitlin less. We're not saying cheer for Caitlin less. We're not saying don't promote Caitlin less. We saying for the backs of everybody else that this league was built on, put a light on them too. But all those other ladies that showed up in New York, put a light on them too.
That's
the Kate Martins, the Nika Mules, the Rakia Jacksons, the Cameron Brinks, the Angel Reeses, the Camila Cardosos, the Alyssa Pillies, the Daisha Fairs, the Marquisha Davises. Shine the light on them.
That's where I was going to go with this. I'm glad you said that.
This girl, Nika Mule, might be the only second rounder that made any team. She's definitely the only rookie on the roster for the Seattle Storm.
Got on the floor last night too.
Second rounder.
And it's gonna make a difference. Don't get that twisted.
In a league that only put 13, I believe, out of 36 drafted on a team this season. I'm so sick of the Caitlin talk, man. I'm sick of the Caitlin talk. I'm sick of people acting like Caitlin is really fragile. Caitlin is a big girl. She knows what she's doing.
Right.
And she's building her brand the way she wants to build it.
Well,
But she's not a victim.
And I was going to say this. I'm glad you mentioned the other rookies. I'm going to elevate this a little more. This is probably one of the best starts that I've seen from some individual players. And I know we're going to get to that in a minute. And I'm not going to name any, but let's talk about
go ahead,
that.
let's go.
But this is kind of overshadowing. Anybody paying attention to what Kalia Copper been doing? Did you see that Kalia Copper's averaging 31 points already? Dropped 39 on the defending. Dropped 39 on the defending champs.
That's my point. Copper been doing her thing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but look at this year. Like the quality of games that we've seen this year. There's been very few like absolute blowouts in the WNBA.
I mean, so as I've been telling people, the WNBA kind of works like this, because you got a mix of young teams and old teams.
Mm-hmm.
Young teams get out to a real fast start. Old teams play their pace. Old teams know that they got to play 40 minutes. Some of these games get really good right away. And some of them get good about mid-third quarter. And some of them get really good. Tighten up really nicely about the last 3-4 minutes in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of parity in the league. And as much, and it's another thing I think that just really pisses me off. Like, for as much trouble and as much critique as I've had for the league, but for some of the stuff that they've done this season, this is the most parity that they've had in this league in a long, long time.
It is.
It's some great quality basketball being played, and nobody's talking about that part.
Mm-hmm.
The W is off to a great start as far as the product on the floor. Now, fumbling all over the place with some of the stuff with marketing, with some of the stuff with advertisements, some of the stuff with being able to put their product on display in the best situations possible. Fumbling there.
Mm-hmm.
Fumbling there. But as far as the product that's showing up on the floor every night, it's been some of the best basketball ever played in the WNBA.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you this.
It's a shame. And it's a shame that that's not being highlighted. And it's a shame that they have decided to just drill that down to being about just one player.
Right.
A lot of what's going on with WNBA and the following that it has right now, a lot of that has to do with the defending champion Las Vegas Aces. They're going to go back to back. A lot of this has to do with Candace Parker winning the championship before they went back to back. A lot of this has to do with Breanna Stewart and four college championships and 4 college MVPs and what she brought here. A lot of this has to do with and you can go back even further. You can go back. This is Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Katrina McClain, Teresa Edwards, all of these Cappy Pondexter, all of these ladies, all of these women that made sacrifices. $60,000 here, $75,000 here, playing all year in the WNBA with a smile, going overseas and grinding it out to be able to play for their families and have some levels of success, to be able to get this thing here 28 years old and deliver it to the people like this. And for them to allow the WNBA, for them to even allow the media to dwindle this down to just one person and this savior, it's absolutely ridiculous to me. And they have to do a better job. And I'm really disappointed in how they're handling this. And I'm really disappointed with all of the people who feel like there's something to defend Caitlin Clark from. There's nothing to defend her from. I'm going to get off my soapbox with that, Coach.
No. I love it. Here's the thing. You said something that really stood out to me. So here's the thing. It's not about talking about her. We're talking about why are they defending her? Like you mentioned LeBron. They talked about LeBron every day. They broke down every aspect of LeBron's game, and that was okay because they were breaking down his game. It wasn't like, oh, well, he has to do this, or the other players are picking, oh, well, he's a victim, and well, he needs time. There was none of that. So if they did the same thing, like, for example, Caitlin Clark's best game, 21-7-7, is being overshadowed because of the pity party. We could talk about that. Break her game down. She had her best game as a rookie last night versus Seattle Storm. Okay? Talk about that. Talk about what's happening on the court. Talk about what she's doing in her plan. But like you said, these celebrities and people coming out, oh, she's the victim. I agree. It's too much. You got to cut all that out. Play the game. Break her game down. Like you said, she signed the contract. She has the endorsements. She should be media trained. She's ready for the smoke. Well, she already had it with the media, but it's like she should be well equipped to take this pressure. It's almost like you mentioned, she's taking the pressure better than people that have nothing to do with her. So I agree. Why are people hitting the red button and say, "Oh, defender." So I get it. Talk about her game, but then, like I said, segueing into, is anybody looking at? Let's talk about history where you got two of the top 5 scorers on the same team, Asia Wilson and Jackie Young. Haven't seen that in a long time. They both averaging almost 25 points. Talk about that. We got some stats. Well, Nafisha Collins, she's doing what she's supposed to do anyway. Can we talk about De'Erica Hambry averaging almost 14 rebounds a game for the LA Sparks? This is groundbreaking stuff. And guess who's second in rebounds? Asia Wilson again. So it's like you got some storylines that you can talk about, and they're not being covered thoroughly because of so much of the, I don't know, of the pity party or whatever. But I'm off my soapbox now. That just bothered me. Bothers me a lot. Alana Smith from Minnesota, 5 blocks a game. A game. Are you kidding me? 5? We're not talking about rebounds. We're talking about blocks. She's averaging 5 blocks a game in the WNBA.
They playing some basketball. Playing some ball in the WNBA right now.
Marina Mabry from Chicago almost averaging 4 steals a game. What? Come on, y'all. Come on now. So there's a lot to cover. I agree. The focus needs to be on what's going on the court and not these outside storylines that's overshadowing the great play that we're seeing this season. So, all right, what you got for me, Seth?
Oh, you wanted to break down the team. Let's talk about the team.
All right.
See where everybody is standing. What you got, Coach?
So
where you want to start at?
I want to start with the Liberty.
That's your squad. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
They played the Sky tonight, and I got the Sky. Got the Sky.
You got to tell me why, please, Seth. Please tell me why, please. I just want to hear that.
I think Chicago played New York Liberty pretty well in the preseason. I believe they got a win on them in the preseason. I think they got a win on them without Camila Cardoso. I'm gonna ride on that.
Okay.
I think Chicago's at home tonight. Is this Angels' home debut? I expect her to ball.
Okay.
I expect her to ball. Chicago stand up, and I expect it to be physical. Now, the one thing I'm being honest. I'm going hard over head because I think Diamond DeShields is questionable. I don't even know if Diamond DeShields is going to run tonight. So, I'm just going hard over head. I just feel like, I don't know. It's something about the Chicago Sky. I told you after I seen them play the first game, I said, go put your money down if you got it on them potentially being in the finals. So I'm just gonna rock with them. Money Marbury is probably she's doing about 16.5 points. Edub 9 rebounds, and then Dana Evans 6 assists. But Diamond DeShields not playing. We'll see. How that factors in. But yeah, I'm going Chicago tonight.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So, I mean, of course, they're one of the many undefeated teams at this time. It's early in the season, but what I'm looking at is why they're undefeated the way they're playing. Right now, they're averaging 88 points a game, and they're holding their opponents to 72 points a game, which lets me know that they paid a lot of attention to the defensive end. What I want to see is how are they going to adjust to a team that wants to play physical with them. So this will be a great test tonight. I'm looking forward to this game for that. I think even if the Shields doesn't play, Chicago overall, with the exception of John Quayle, they're a more physical team overall, in my opinion. The Sky are more physical. But there's something that I want to look at as far as the assists per game. They're averaging almost 21 assists per game. I think that's their calling card right now.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong, Coach.
They playing in New York.
They have workplace. They have workplace.
That kind of changes things.
Go ahead.
Now the rebounds per game is something that I'm looking at. They're averaging 36 rebounds. That's another area where they've improved, but those assists really stand out to me. And I'm looking at B Stu. We got to get some props to B Stu. B Stu is filling the stat sheet. She's averaging 20, almost 20 points a game, close to almost 9 rebounds a game, 2 assists, almost 3 steals, even almost 2 blocks. So she's filling the stats up. But an interesting number that I've been paying attention to, and I mentioned this to you the other week. I'm looking at minutes per game. Breanna Stewart is one of the 3 players that are only playing 31 minutes a game. So we can see what New York's doing. They're preparing. This is a marathon. You know, they're like, hey, we're not going to burn out. There's not going to be a huge usage rate. I've yet to see anybody on a New York Liberty play more than 34 minutes a game, which that sounds like something small now, but it's going to play huge dividends when you have those rare back-to-backs when the playoffs start. The New York Liberty, to me, they're preparing for the postseason now. And I know that's an oxymoron. Every team is preparing to win, but they're showing to me the way they're going about this, they've learned from last season. Does it prepare them for the Las Vegas Aces? No. We've yet to see that. The blueprint that beat the Las Vegas Aces the other day was somebody. Sometimes you can't stop people getting hot from 3-point. Phoenix got hot. New York Liberty does not have that in their arsenal at this point for somebody that can get hot from 3 like that. But that's why I don't want to take up all the time, but that's my take on New York. So who'd you want to talk about? That's what I've liked so far as New York.
So for the Liberty, for me, is keep that same energy. Like I said, until I see you come bully Las Vegas, I expect you to. You should beat everybody else. You know that. So I'm not overly impressed with the 4-0 start. They were the runner-ups last year. But for the Chicago Sky, I feel like Chicago could actually beat 0-2 easily. But they made a decision to make a stand against the Dallas Wings, and I think Enrique Agumawale is one of the hardest players to get a win on right now. Dallas has a lot of length. They have a lot of size that Chicago didn't necessarily match up with on paper, but they found a way to pull off the comeback and get the win. I think they keep building off of that. I think they learned a lot about themselves. Jonquel, I feel like, been bullying a lot this season, and that's okay because I think that's our style. I'm interested to see. Angel doesn't usually react well to being bullied or having a bully on the court.
That's true.
So I'm interested to see if that lights a fire under her and how she brings her game tonight. But it should be a good matchup, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's what I got for that game coming up. I know another game that we got coming up for tonight, because I believe we have 3 games, is the Lynx and the Sun, which are interesting because that's going to be Minnesota and Connecticut, 2 of the last undefeated teams besides the New York Liberty. So somebody's has to go. Minnesota Lynx surprised me at 2-0, especially because Peely has been pretty quiet. Connecticut Sun, listen, playing out their mind right now.
Yes.
Definitely should be a good one. What are your thoughts on that? Who are you picking? Who you got? What do you think?
I'm picking Connecticut. Connecticut, again, I don't want to disrespect Connecticut and say that they're a dark horse or something like that. Those that watch the game know that they'll be right there. But the way they're another team to me. The way they're playing right now, the veteran leadership is showing up. The way they're moving the ball is showing up. Bonner is she's kind of doing what Stewie's doing, and the fact that she's kind of sitting back and picking and choosing her spots is what I would like to say. Not really like dominating, taking over, but she can. It's like she's letting the other players get theirs off. And I'm trying to look at these stats real quick. What's going on here?
It was just interesting. When you look at Minnesota, nobody's a star, and that's not a knock on them. Nobody's like really a big name star.
Right.
When you look at their team, it's interesting that they have like some Connecticut players. Notre Dame is in there. Stanford is in there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of international is in there. And then you got your Utah, Virginia Tech, South Florida, right? Marquette, Iowa State. But a lot of international players. So probably savvy veterans, a lot of experience. So probably not names that jump out as the potential of being an undefeated team. But Cheryl Reeve is putting this thing together pretty good. And I think we often overlook the work that Katie Smith probably adds as an assistant coach, as well as Rebecca Brunson. And then they also have Elaine Powell up there as an assistant coach as well. So a lot of basketball IQ in Minnesota that probably gets looked over. One of the smaller market teams. Like I said, I still don't know if Alyssa Pilley fits in there. But they surprised me at being 2-0. But when you kind of look into them, they look like they just got some hoopers and a lot of basketball, some high basketball IQ up there. So expect them to play tough. I think Connecticut pulls it out. They've just been hard to beat.
And with Connecticut too, they're another team that's averaging right around 88 points a game, which is expected. But here's one that stands out to me. They're shooting almost 44% as a team. That's pretty impressive. They're number 5 actually in field goal percentage behind. But guess who's third in field goal percentage? Minnesota. So you got two teams. They utilize their strength. They like to go with a couple wing players and a big. They mix it up pretty well. But Connecticut, here's another one. Minnesota leads the league in steals per game, almost 17 steals per game. They turn you over. But here comes Connecticut with 10 steals a game too. So it's going to be competitive, like you mentioned, but I think that experience is going to be the difference in this game. That's what I've seen from Connecticut. Similar to the New York Liberty, they don't panic. They're down 5-6. They don't change their game plan regardless of the circumstances in the game. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game tonight. As far as how Connecticut will handle, they're going to handle Minnesota's runs. What I'm going to look forward to in this game is how is Minnesota going to react when Connecticut goes on their run? Because we know that Connecticut can recover from it. Connecticut can, kind of do some things that'll offset what they're doing. So it's gonna be a good. I'm looking forward to this game. But I got
Ty Harris been balling.
Yes,
Ty Harris been balling. But the other thing I'm gonna say is Dejanay Carrington, defensive player of the year looked like to me so far with the way she been cuffing folks. Dejanay Carrington playing out of her mind. DeWanna Bonner playing out of her mind. When you look at this team, this is one that I wanted to just shout out here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just gonna say 5 players. I'm counting the 46%. 5 players shooting 50% or better from the floor. They don't miss shots and they take good shots. This is a very veteran team.
Yes.
This is a very smart team. This is one of them, young horse run fast, old horse know the way. See you when you get there. I'm gonna go walk straight down this hill and I see you. I'll meet you at the hoop, homie. Is their approach very, very, very they are very intentional with how they bring their game. And they play at a pace that allows them to pace, and it almost looks like they coasting, and then they cut that thing up come the fourth quarter, and it's like, whoa, what happened here? So I don't know if they're going to be able to keep this pace up. They were, again, almost in the championship last year. Definitely came back on a mission. I'm excited for the play. I didn't expect this from them so early. But again, I don't think that they lost many players from last year.
No.
And I don't see that they really added a lot here.
Because you know why, Seth? You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that. You know what? And I'm not going to say you. People may have forgotten. Do you remember who they picked with the 19th overall pick last year?
Last year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who that was.
Olivia Nelson-Ododa.
From UConn. Okay.
From UConn. She's averaging 3.3 points per game, 2.3 rebounds. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but this is the type of formula and blueprint when you have a team like Connecticut, when you're sitting down and you're playing next to those types of professionals, watching the speed of the game, learning how to play from a veteran team like that. This is the type of stuff where you're not going to skip a beat if you're next player up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't be surprised if you see some variations in matchups or whatever, and she's getting more time because she knows how to. They have a system. You know, Connecticut has one of those systems. I think you insert player, it's not gonna mean a whole lot as far as like the productivity, as far as how the team flows. Like you just mentioned, they take good shots. They get good looks at the bucket.
Not only that, they might not have a lot of big names, but they have players that came from good programs.
Yes.
Right. So you got two from South Carolina, you got at least two from Connecticut, you got two from Baylor, you got two from Maryland, you got Auburn and Minnesota, and then you got some international play there, right? But all of these people have come from similar, a couple from the same program. Where the standard is whatever the standard is at all of those schools. And for the schools that I mentioned, those are schools that we would consider Power 5 schools for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And Power 5 schools that have played deep into March.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at DeWanna Bonner is probably the one from Auburn, and she's probably like 14 years in. So.
I have a soft spot for.
I mean, what I'm saying about her is she's 14 years in, so people may not remember Auburn doing a whole lot here in these recent years. But Auburn was there, was definitely a competing school. But I just think that they come from good programs. They don't necessarily have to get the biggest names, but they have a roster of solid players.
I want to see her get one so bad.
I think that helps with their success.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at I'm looking here. You got head coach Stephanie White. You got Breanne January, assistant coach there. The athletic training. Just the overall staff. It looks like solid. When you have an assistant coach with the last name Olajuwon, listen. I just I don't know what Olajuwon mean in Africa. To me, it means basketball. I don't know what it translate over there in his country, but to me, Olajuwon, it must mean basketball. You hear me? It must mean or footwork. I don't know if it means basketball or footwork, or as Shaq would say, feet work. You hear me? But it means something got something to do with basketball. So
hey, you want to know?
Go ahead, Coach.
You want to know something interesting? I'm looking at I know it's very early. I'm looking at the conference standings.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you got sitting at 7, Chicago. Sitting at 2 is Connecticut. So that'll be real interesting to see. It's like a four team thing. You got New York, Connecticut, Atlanta, and Chicago right now in those 1 to 8 spots. Mm-hmm. At 1, 2, 6, and 7. Then you got Minnesota, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Seattle, surprisingly, at 8. Because they're at 2 and 3. So it's kind of like panning out like we saw. I think there'll be some. The parity to me is seeing what Dallas is going to do. Can they fight for that spot? Because I predicted Seattle to make it. And then if Chicago. Well, Chicago's there because you got Washington, Indiana, unfortunately, the 2 winless teams right now in the WNBA. I do think that Washington will win a game before Indiana. I've been watching Washington. I'm not a big fan on how they run their offense. The bigs pop out way too much shooting threes, but hey, it almost got 2 victories for them one day. It's kind of like how Phoenix, not taking anything away from Phoenix, but how Phoenix caught Las Vegas, I think, kind of sleepwalking the other day. By the time Las Vegas woke up, it was like, that game reminded me of that. You ever been in them games where it's like,
let's talk about it because they didn't catch them sleepwalking. Come on, let's talk about them.
Yeah, but well, I'm gonna say this. What I saw in that game, because I watched that game back too. You ever see those games where it's like, okay, they made that one. All right. Okay, they ain't gonna make that. They're not gonna make that one. They're not gonna make that one.
Listen, this is what I'm finna say. And I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan. Listen, I don't think I don't think the league thought. I don't think nobody knew how good of a pickup Kalia Copper was gonna be for Phoenix. Now you didn't put. Listen, she got 8 years in the league, right? 8 years in the league. Again, now you're looking at Phoenix. I don't know. Diana Taurasi been in the league 37 years, I think. I don't know how long she's been in the league. Probably about 37 years for real. Did you see her drop 7 threes in the first game? Listen, Diana Taurasi looked like she might could still go back and pass for a class at UConn. She might could, if you don't look too close. You don't look too close around her eyes, coach. She looked like she still looked like Taurasi. She might could pass in a couple classes at UConn.
Diana Taurasi
they didn't let.
Looks like she works on her game in the off season. She works on her game.
Diana Taurasi looks like she plays basketball for a living.
Exactly.
Listen, Copper getting to Phoenix and being able to get them pregame meals because she said she wasn't getting none in Chicago. Let me tell you something. Oh, feeding somebody for a game make a difference, don't it, coach? Feeding somebody for a game make a difference. This woman's she's just so happy to be in Phoenix, and you can tell she's playing like she's happy to be in Phoenix. And that's not a knock on Chicago's side because Chicago's figuring out what they doing, right? That wasn't she had outgrown Chicago, and it was time for some new faces and some new blood in Chicago. And so I'm happy that she landed in Phoenix. But if the commissioner was woke, this was like letting CP3 get to LA Lakers. You understand? This was like CP. If the commissioner was woke, somebody should have asked about that one.
I'm telling you, look, I was a big Griner fan when she came out of Baylor. I was huge, even when she came to the WNBA. But I'm seeing something. I don't know if that dynamic is going to be messed up when she comes back. Phoenix is playing 4 guards and a power forward pretty much in the game now, and they are making people adjust to them. They could easily be 2-1 right now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. So the thing with Brittany Griner is this. The thing I worry about Griner is that toe. At this stage, what will it do to her explosion? How will she come back from that? I hope that she takes her time. At this stage, I don't know. Could it be career ending? I don't know. But you bring a Griner back, that's even part halfway. The player that Griner has been. And Phoenix is gonna make some noise. I noticed that it's a lot of hype. I know it's a lot of hype in the league. Las Vegas, we're gonna have to make some adjustments. We need to understand what is Chelsea Gray doing. It's evident that we need the point guard to be able to distribute and slice up some of these defenses. It's a lot on Asia right now. We're gonna see how she comes back. I expect her to go straight Asia. I know you got to get out of here soon. So before I let you go, let me ask you this question.
Of course.
Tell me, when do the Fever get their first win?
Okay, let me look because
so far I got them. I thought that they should have tried to get Seattle yesterday. They didn't. So I got them at an 0-7. I think the fam said 2-8 by the time they get to 10.
Let me look.
Remember that coming up on the 1st, they got to see Camilla now.
I'm trying to see. Let me see. I'm trying to look at their games. So remember, I called out before. I thought their best chance of the win, which proved to be true, was last night.
I know people think that they're gonna be able to get the Sparks. I think the Sparks are different than people think. Don't sleep on them. Rakia's figuring her spot out. I don't think that Rakia ever had to come off the bench before. So I think she's figuring out how to get her motor going off the bench. Derrica Hamby is playing out of her mind. And Cameron Brink is probably playing. She's probably right now with the blocks and stuff that she's had. I believe they have her ranked number 1 as the rookie.
You know what's weird, Cess? I'm looking on my app. Why don't they have a game that they lost last night on their? That's weird. They don't even have it. I'm looking at WNBA app. They literally do not have the last loss they have on here. They're showing on the app is 92-71 when they lost to Connecticut, and then the next game shows Indiana versus Los Angeles Sparks. So okay, let me look at it. They play the Sparks tomorrow. I think that's a loss. The young lady I just mentioned, the one that's leading the league in rebounds, Indiana has nothing for her. Is Mabry? Is that her name?
Okay. I don't remember who's leading.
That's the loss. They play Las Vegas. Do we even have to talk about that one? That's the loss.
Well, especially because Las Vegas is coming off a loss.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here, you know what? Okay, here's a chance.
Where?
The 28th, LA comes to Indiana. So if they take the loss in LA, that might be a chance for them to win that one, maybe.
Derek Hamby is going to be like. So here's the thing, Coach. Here's the thing. Caitlin needed to get her win in one of the first two games. Now, everybody like, oh, ain't going to be me. We're not going to be the ones that you plaster all over SportsCenter as Caitlin got her first win. And you know they having them conversations. Yeah. No coach wants to be that. No player wants to be that. You're going to be on SportsCenter, what they say for the next 40 days and 40 nights is how they say it. Come on now.
So here's what I got for you. Maybe, and we have our VIP this day, when Seattle goes to Indiana next Thursday. That might be their only chance, just because of how tight they played Seattle last night. They might at home. And again, I'm not Mr. Controversy, but I got to point out, I think the Whistles are going to be real friendly. I think everybody knows that, they need to get that win. That might be their chance. Because after that, Chicago comes to Indiana. That's a loss. I think Chicago's going to wash them. That may be their chance, Cess. And I'm a Seattle Storm fan. I'm just answering the question. That may be the time.
About the Seattle game. Nikki Mule.
Yeah.
She owed him some minutes. She only got to play for 3. She owed some minutes. I think she's going to be a little bit more comfortable. I expect her to be playing a few more minutes by the time next Thursday come. I don't know.
Okay, here I go.
We're going to find out.
Okay, look. I'm not going to cut this. My last I cut this. I know I got to get out of here. Here we go. They get their first win June 7th. They go to Washington. That's the game they win. So that'll make them what? 1-11? 1-10, something like 1-10, something like that. That's their first win. They go to Washington.
We're gonna find out because I think Aaliyah Edwards gonna be thinking about a get back game. They should gonna be thinking about a get back game. Hey, I mean, you gotta think about now. The last time Aaliyah Edwards played in college, it was against Iowa, and she didn't get to go to the Final Four for that. You don't think she thinking about that? Oh man, listen, nobody don't want to be the first one. That's all I'm saying, Coach. Yeah, and I know you got to get out of here. I appreciate you coming and rocking with me, y'all. Look, we are live tonight for some hoops, Coach. If you're around, come hang out with us. Anthony Edwards, we'll talk about him. That didn't work out. It didn't go how I thought it would go in Minnesota, but they got another shot later on this week. Hey, listen, y'all, we trying to double this thing up. Everyone invite one. We're going to get this thing to 5,000 and then to 1 million. If this is your first time here, hit that notification bell. Ring that like button, y'all. Ring the like button, y'all. Don't smash it. Ring it. Ring the like button. You hear me? I'm just messing with y'all. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. We're gonna get out of here. Until next time, stay tuned. Talk soon. We out.
See ya.